Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm here. I think this is my first live of the year. No, I did. Yeah, no, I did that little peek in. Anyways, can't remember. But, anyways, I'm going to call this my first live of the year. And welcome, everybody. For those who are just joining me, my name's Mary June Tracy. I'm a psychic medium, spiritual love of life coach, and an astrologer. Please subscribe and like for my YouTube page. That would be absolutely fabulous. So, what has been going on? It is, already this week, I think there's been so much happening. And astrologically, there is a lot that is being brought to the surface. And when I feel into the energies and when I look into, with Venus retrograde in Capricorn, Jupiter's there. I mean, Jupiter in Pisces, Pluto in Capricorn, and Juno's there, and the sun is there. It really, I really start to feel a lot. I feel good. Like I feel like there's a lot of, forward motion of, wanting to do things and get things done. So there is this working towards what you want to be working towards. So I feel like this year is really a kickoff with a bang. And even with a kickoff and a bang, if you got your focuses, that's awesome. If you're feeling like you're sort of wavering all over the place, then you're going to find that you might have a little bit of problems. And this year especially is really focusing on what's important to you, because there's going to be so many, and they're telling me it's like side attractions, side shows. So there's going to be so many side shows that are going to be happening this year that, if trying to keep them all in line or trying to pay attention to them, you're going to find that it's going to just throw you right off. It's not going to it's going to hinder you more than anything. Now we're on the especially in the States, of when Mars went into Taurus. And Mars finally went forward in Aries last year around this time. And as it was going forward, it was coming out of shadow. And as it came out of shadow on January 6th, it went into Taurus. And I remember doing a video on this, and I was mentioning, I said, at any time Mars comes out of a retrograde and he's going into, from like, here I am, I'm the mighty Mars, from Aries, the warrior, the fighter, boom, into the earth, into that Taurus energy. Well, I knew there was going to be some kind of disruption that came up, and obviously there was. And more will be revealed on that as well. And I feel like this is going to be a year, and especially when we feel the nodes change in the next couple days or a couple weeks, with those nodes changing from Gemini to, from Gemini Sagittarius to Scorpio Taurus. And right now we have there's that because Jupiter's squaring it, we have this feeling of this in between, this cuspy energy, because it's at 0 degrees. So we're kind of like in this in between kind of energy, trying to figure things out, and kind of like you feel like you might be floating around. So we're in this in between type of energy, where last year we thought, oh yeah, we're going forward. And I kept on saying, people, it's not over. It's not over. We're still in it for, for some time. And I'm going to tell you again, we're not over. We're in this for some time. There is going to be coming down, especially with when Mercury goes retrograde, and the nodes change. We're going to be coming into where there's going to be a fixed energy, a fixed I'm just like, this is like, it's fixed. It's, this energy that's going to come in, and it's going to have us, look at what is really truly meaningful to us. And with Venus, Venus with the retrograde, and also with the Saturn and Jupiter, they're at the last degrees before they're coming out of shadow. That's going to have a really big movement, and these ahas are going to start coming in, because these two guys are going to be going forward, and Jupiter is going to be like a bat out of hell. Like, really, he's going through, and he's going to race right through Pisces, conjunct Neptune, and then go into Aries, and then retrograde back into Pisces again. This is where we're at. We're at this place. And I'm feeling, especially for this week, it's like, we want to get our goals going. We want to get going there. We want to start doing this. And I've been seeing some beautiful pictures of people on vacation. And, I'm off on vacation. I'm going to Hawaii. I'm going to Mexico. And beautiful, wonderful. God bless you. My feeling with, going anywhere as yet, I would definitely not go anywhere, not for a little bit yet, because things are still unsettled in the world, in the masses. So things are totally unsettled, where you think that things are going to be a certain way and they'll change overnight. And we still have, within the next 14 days or so with that South Node in Sag, I definitely would not be wanting to travel or wanting to come back into Canada at this time, because it is unsettled. Things are unsettled. And as much as people, okay, here it is. How do I explain this? Because they're showing it to me. Yes, people want to live and get back to normal and just do things, right? And go and do, and which is beautiful. But there's this, this is where I got this in between, this little gray area that's coming in, that is bringing in some unknowns that are there. And even, with that Saturn square in Uranus, there's this unknown of energies that are coming in, that not too sure on how things are going to be. And when we're dealing with our own spirituality and developing our own spirituality, that's beautiful, that's wonderful. Having our goals, putting our goals forward, doing what we need to do, that is one thing. But there's this one part that is there, and we're going to start feeling it, that it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird type of energy, even though there is this magical, beautiful entree of energies coming forward for us to really dive into and sink our teeth into it, and allow us to create many new and wondrous things for ourselves. Yet there's just, and I think that's that in between cuspy energy that's there. And the frustration and the frustrating energy that is coming in there. And I like to say to people, excuse me, I've been having a head cold. I've been sick for the last week or so. I still haven't gotten over it, so I'm still very congested. I almost didn't want to come on to the live today, because I am feeling my energies are very they go up and down. So but my guides told me it's okay, get on there, you got to do this. So here I am. So the frustrating, but and the extremes. Oh, how do I explain this? I'm trying to get the right words for this, and for this energy that's coming forward. I feel like people are just trying to make things so normal. They just look at, make it so normal, yet not understanding the consequences of what their little actions will have upon the rest of the world. When we are coming into a time when we are having to fight for our rights to do things, and fight for our rights when it comes to a lot of restrictions that are being placed upon people. And I feel and I see and I know there is a booster elixir coming in. And I'm going to say to you all, God bless you. I mean, I know people are going to make their own decisions and do what they're going to do. I'm going to say no. It's there's not enough evidence with it. There's not enough clarity with it all. And even after with that Joe Rogan's podcast, I mean, and if you haven't heard it, please go listen to it. And he even talks about the psychosis that's happening and the mental illnesses that are coming in. And that's the thing, is that people are oblivious to, or don't want to look at it. And that's where my frustration comes in, because I want to be in a place where I want to bring in, beautiful light and energy for you all. But I don't want people to be so blinded by what is happening, like it, and the restrictions that are coming down, and how people are not paying attention. It's just like, I don't want to look at that. I just give it to me so I can go on with my life. But they're not considering the consequences of the next 7 generations. And that's where this energy, especially for this year and the coming years, is what are you putting forward now to create the positivity for the grandchildren, for the great grandchildren. Now, some people don't come and tell me that, well, I don't have grandchildren. I don't have children. That's not the point. It's like, this is part of our journey, is to restore, to come together for this world. And that's where the spiritual energy is. And it's not, and I even said this before, and I've heard Kate Pacha say the same, and I heard, a few other astrologers say the same. It's not us running away. It is where we have to stay and do the work and come deeply within our own selves. And I think this week is really coming in to show us, and that's where the frustration may be happening. And there is this deeming yourself, because there is a predetermined karmic that's coming together, that is being released here. And there is this karmic energy that's coming in from our fears and our beliefs that has to come in, and it's deep and it needs to be healed. And not everyone understands that. They think they do. And they're like, oh yeah, whatever. And off they go. And I get the premise. I get the premise of wanting to go. I do. But there's going to come down an obligation, because of what is happening and unfolding within our world at this time. And if people are not aware of it and they're turning a blind eye, this is part of our spiritual journey, is that when you realize something or something, you're 100% responsible for it. That is that Ho'oponopono. That's bringing that light into it. And that's where we need to start working on, to understand that the tyranny that is happening right now, and many are wanting to turn a blind eye, because I just need to go back to my day-to-day life. But their day-to-day life is soon to be obliterated because of our actions or our acceptance of just saying, okay, whatever. And with Venus retrograde, what she's doing, she's this, she's coming together with the sun, like the sun's moving this way, she's moving this way, Juno's in between, and Juno's about obligation. She's about commitment. What are your obligations and commitments that you are wanting to bring towards the creating of the new foundation within your world? And what does that look like? And what does that feel like? That is going to be the important question that is coming up. and is starting to unfold, and is starting to unfold even in within this week. And we are wanting to, where I feel like we don't want to be boxed, it's like being in a box, like you are like this is how you do. It's like, in our areas, in our neighborhood, like I even noticed downtown, where now they're putting a Winners and a Loblaw and some of the, and just in that area, so you stay in that area, you don't leave that area, because a lot of people are now working from home. Okay, I could just go down to the corner and there's my grocery store, there's Winners, there's whatever else there. So this is where it's like, okay, we're going to contain you, and you're going to be staying in this containment. And that's where this, especially with, with, as Jupiter is in Pisces with Uranus, there is this opening that wants to expand us, especially within our spiritual realms, and changing the stuff and turning off what we want to turn off and turning on what we need to turn on. So this is really where, you know, I see that people just want to stay in their little containment. They want to go on. This is what we want to do. This is, we go on a vacation every year. We just want to continue our regular role, yet not witnessing the other. It's like, it seems too far away for us to really care about, I guess. It's just, there's just such a frustration with it. Anyways, we're going to put that aside. So the thing is that within that containment, I know I said put it aside, but it's like, where are you missing out? That's where it is. Missing out on life and where to connect and explore. So this is where we're coming with the end of the mutable energy, where the curiosity is there. And, the last 18 months and the final things where you are blocking, where are the things that you're blocking, and speaking truth. So doing something that has you feel good and happy. There is, it's having us to work together so that we can create a place where we're going to have, where we can stand up and fight for our children. I mean, that's the Saturn too in Uranus, and Aquarius. Aquarius is about other people's children, and looking at how we are taking care of other people's children. Right now, there is and they're trying to block it, information coming out, and because they're calling it racist, but where a ring of Middle Eastern Arab men in England rounding up young girls and selling them in the black market, as slave trades, and raping them as young as 10-year-old girls. These are the things that, with that Eris energy, with that Pluto energy, this is what is coming up to the surface. This is where the healing has to happen. And the energies have to be seen. And with that, it's stepping into this newness for us to create a better place but we have to do the healing. We can't ignore the healing. And I think that's where this year is also coming in, or this even this week is starting to do the healing on where you find the blocks and where you want to move forward, and where you're blocking yourself so that you don't stand in your light, you don't stand in what you believe in. And even though we might not be able to go over there and help those young girls, but what we can do is send love. Ho'oponopono. More sex rings than that are going to be exploited over this next year, over the next several years, and especially as the South Node hits Scorpio. So over the next 18 months, things are going to be exploited and brought to the surface. And I feel like this is all part of our healing, and this is all part of the spiritual journey of transformation that we need to make. And looking at what we are what we are wanting to create within this new world, and feeling it, feeling it. And there is a lot of beautiful magic in the air. I mean, there is some beautiful energy there, but there's a lot of delusion too that's coming in there too. And we're going to feel that with that Jupiter and Neptune energy as well. So yeah. It's one of those, it's that so much in such a short time is coming forward for us. And it's really interesting. A few things I want to bring up, or what I've read. And a couple things. It's one thing is with NASA. Where is it? With NASA, excuse me. Is, well, I don't even know what you are. Work tech, work whatever you're. How will religion react to aliens? NASA turned to theologians to find out. So, on another, I'm just changing on something more. So, a recent interview with Reverend Dr. Andrew Davidson revealed that in 2016 and 2017, NASA called in some 24 of the world's greatest theologians and religious scholars to determine how the world's major faiths would react to the revelation that aliens' life exists. So, bringing in the God Squad, 24 Christian priests, Jewish rabbis, and Islamic imams walk into a university. Religious traditions would be an important feature in our humanity, would work through any such confirmation of life elsewhere. So they got all of these guys together to talk about aliens and what people would, how we would perceive aliens. And some believe that of the many faithful evangelical Christians would have the hardest time swallowing the existence of life beyond the stars due to their often literal understanding of scriptures. And they would be one of the hardest hit. So if aliens came down. The other thing that I found very interesting is they is it in Germany? Germany, they are bringing in a transgender Jesus. So Jesus is now transgender in um in many different in Germany. So we got Jesus as transgender. What else do we have that's going on? And a billionaire, one of the richest men in Utah, left the Mormon church with his billions of dollars. You think the Catholic Church is rich? You should see the Mormons. The Mormons are just as rich, man. But he left them because of the hindrant global progress in women's rights, civil rights, racial equality, and the LGBTQ rights, arguing that the church is no longer a force for good. So he also he's also giving some $600,000 to Equality Utah and the LGBTQ advocacy groups. So he's left, but he's turning in part of the Mormon religion. They do have camps that they send their kids and stuff to, and if their kids say that they're gay, and try to change them. So he's stepping out and he's fighting against that, and he's calling out the church. So I mean that's a really beautiful thing. So we're finding that many things are changing, and in the world where people are standing up saying what they need to say. But I thought that those were kind of interesting in some of the trends that are out there right now. So I know I was kind of all over the place, and it's, with my stuffed up nose, I just feel like I'm a little bit scattered with it all too. But I know there's a lot of magic, and I know there's a lot of beautiful energy that's out there for us at this time. And if things feel shady or you're getting a red flag, pay attention. If it isn't part of life or fair and balance and you're still doing it, you got to ask yourself why. Time to make changes, time to stand up and move into a new direction and to make the big things and be out there, be out there in the don't be a fool and giving things away. But this is where it's like standing out there and allowing yourself to create something really beautiful for your world. This is really a year of working on our individual on ourselves, especially spiritually, in order to enhance and enlighten the world to become a better place to live. So we're yeah. There's a lot. Anyways, I don't want to get too political because I know there's so much out there that is political right now and that's unfolding for us. And many were thinking that things would change or start to change for 2022. I think the biggest change that we're going to have for 2022 is the spiritual, and a spiritual push for people to really stand up in their spirituality and their light, and creating new communities. That's going to be a big one that's going to come in for this year, especially this week, in finding your communities of the people you want to connect with. So my loves, starting next Monday, I have the fairy workshop begins. So if you are wanting to join me, we'll be using the book Be a Goddess, by Francisca de Grande. So if you are wanting to join me, let me know. It's $444 for the 15 weeks. There is payment plans available. So if you're wanting to join me for that, let me know. We start. It's on Zoom. It's live and it's all recorded. Also, if you want to book a consultation, go to thegurumama.com and book yourself a consultation with me. And so let's connect. So sending you guys out so much love. I know, when I look at the astrology and I look at the energies, I mean, my life is just as much going into chaotic crazy right now as much as many other people's are at this time as well. But stay safe, stay healthy, and allow your light to shine in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Have a blessed one, everybody. And I will be back next Wednesday. Maybe before, we'll see how it goes, but I'll be back next Wednesday for another live. Have a blessed one. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.